Welcome everyone to HueFin News. Today is December the 14th, 2018. This is the home of the 2-minute price prediction, as well as giving you all the news according to the charts. You can probably tell by our thumbnail. We're asking you the question, is Aurora Cannabis for sale? We asked that question because recently, if you guys have been paying attention to the news lately, there has been a lot of stakes being occurring for many of these Canadian cannabis companies. Okay, and we came across this article right here from stocknews.com, and there was an interview for the CEO of Aurora Cannabis to Cheddar. His name is Terry Booth. He did an interview stating that Aurora Cannabis is not for sale. But I'm gonna ask you guys the question, even though he may have said that in the interview, other things of note should be considered when all things are placed on the table. Okay, now before I get started in that, I definitely want to remind you all to do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Make sure that you all continue to like and share our content, because we're able to digest what we read and pay attention to try to see if it's also being reflected on the price chart. So that's why you see the split screen here between the article and the price chart, because we're literally here to see if what we're reading on the article correlates to the price chart. Okay, now I'm not going to waste too much of your time. Let's just go ahead and get into this article, and then we'll look at the price chart, give you our analysis, our forecast of what we're expecting Aurora Cannabis to do in the future. Okay, so now Aurora Cannabis ACB, the CEO says that the company is not for sale. I went ahead and highlighted some of the important things that I feel needs to be translated over to the price chart. So as we continue to read this article, we definitely need to see those things formulate on this price chart. This was uploaded to the internet December 12, 2018. And the question was asked, is Aurora Cannabis for sale? Now, the CEO, Terry Booth, said it's just too soon for his company, one of the world's largest medical marijuana producers, to jump in bed with a major name in alcohol or tobacco. Okay. Booth comments follow Aurora's announcement it would acquire Mexican partner Farmacias Maestrales SA as it moves to expand its distribution of higher margin derivative THC, that is the chemical that is found in cannabis products, into Mexico. Farmacias recently became Mexico's first and only federally licensed importer of raw materials containing that chemical. That's pretty good news. But now the question is that recently there has been many accusations of major big companies, whether it's in the beverage industry or even in tobacco industry, to where they're trying to get into the cannabis market. And as recently as September, BNN reported that Aurora was in serious talks with Coca-Cola to develop a cannabis-infused beverage. The company quickly responded, saying it had not partnered with Coca-Cola or any beverage giant. Now, the question is, yes, you may not have partnered, but you were in serious talks. So obviously the negotiations fell through. The company does not confirm. The company does confirm that it engages in exploratory discussions with industry participants from time to time. See, that tells you already that Aurora is in the market to have some partnership agreements to possibly increase or decrease its stake in the market, to where the big companies will own the majority shares of Aurora Cannabis. At this time, the company confirms there is no agreement, understanding, or arrangement with respect to any partnership with a beverage company. Okay, so everything sounds quite well around that particular time. It seems as if Aurora Cannabis is on a path to try to acquire as many companies globally to increase its span across the world. If Aurora partnered with a beverage or tobacco company, it will come as little surprise to spectators. And that is true. Just last week, now we're going to give you some examples. Shares of Kronos Group shot up on news that Marlboro parent company Altria agreed to a $1.8 billion stake in the company. That alone increases the majority stake for Altria. Kronos does not have I think they still maintain that majority stake, but it gives Altria the opportunity to increase their stake to over 50%. So the moment if Altria goes ahead and exercise that right, then Altria or Marlboro will have a majority stake in Kronos Group, which in turn means that Altria controls Kronos, and that is not a positive thing. That's one of the things that the CEO of Aurora Cannabis is trying to say. Constellation, parent company of Corona and Modelo, upped its share in Canopy Growth to about 40%. See, they're almost already at a majority stake in Canopy Growth. Constellation is. So, Molson Coors also got in on pot, announcing a joint partnership with a Canadian company to develop and market cannabis infused drinks. So everyone is trying to get into this industry. All the big companies around the cannabis is trying to delve into this market, and they're trying to do it in a way to where they're trying to get a majority stake in these Canadian companies. Now, that is one thing I could say is pretty positive about the CEO of Aurora Cannabis. He is not falling for that. I think he wants to tread his own path. He does not want another developed outside industry to try to come in and dictate what his business is going to do. This is what Booth said in the interview. Aurora has no plans to enter into an agreement that might sell off a majority stake in the company. Okay. Now, that could be one of the main reasons why the negotiations fell through between Aurora Cannabis and Coca-Cola, because Coca-Cola wanted to have the right or go straight into the agreement with having a majority stake in Aurora Cannabis, and that completely shut down the deal because the CEO does not want that. Now, it doesn't mean that Aurora Cannabis is not for sale. It doesn't mean that they're not out there looking and exploring to see more attractive offers to where it could benefit them, whether monetarily or by any other means. Okay, so I definitely want to put that on the table that Aurora Cannabis is out there exploring, but they just have not ran across a proper deal that the CEO feels is going to be beneficial in the long run for that particular company. Okay, deals like that, this is what Booth also said, deals like that can lead to an ownership stake by these big companies. He said Aurora is not for sale. Now, just keep that on your radar though. Okay, he might have said that in this interview, but considering the fact that many other canopy growth companies have already partnered and came up with agreements to where these other big companies are involved now, Aurora Cannabis is looking to the sidelines and trying to see how this is going to pan out. And if it pans out quite well for these other cannabis companies, then I see no reason as to why Aurora Cannabis will not try to join in a partnership with another company. Okay, so Aurora Cannabis, as of this article, the date of this article is not for sale, but I definitely want to keep that on your radar as we continue to see this market, this new industry mature. Okay, so now you might ask yourself the question, what is going on with the price chart considering what we just read in the market? This article also told us that they have acquired a Mexican company that is federally approved in order to move that chemical that is found in cannabis. And you can tell this is the monthly chart for Aurora Cannabis. This is on the New York Stock Exchange. This is not the Toronto Stock Exchange. You can see here that we're coming right back above this crucial ascending line on the monthly chart, but nevertheless we're still weak in this space for Aurora Cannabis. It's currently up 2.98%. I've been telling you all that Aurora Cannabis was weak. The market could hold $6, and then it ultimately came all the way back down to $5. You can go back and check all our previous Aurora videos, and we told you that the market definitely is looking to continue to move to the downside around this $5 or even this $4 price. And last week it came all the way down to $4.69. This week we're getting a lot of volume in the space. The spread is a lot smaller, so we're going to have to see whether or not Aurora Cannabis can break $6.25, give or take, to the upside in a relatively near term. I mean, like in next week or so, we will need to see Aurora Cannabis break that to the upside. Currently, smaller time frame, we're getting nothing but some consolidation. The market definitely is not giving us indications that it wants to break down right now. So definitely I'm looking for that consolidation to continue in Aurora Cannabis. And as long as we stay above this ascending line in the market for Aurora Cannabis, definitely the market will continue to move to the upside. But overall, we're just holding a consolidation at this particular time in Aurora Cannabis. $6.25 would be resistance, maybe $6.50 would be resistance, and support is initially around $5. But again, you see this one particular daily price chart price bar to where it came down to $4. So that also is a support area for Aurora Cannabis. So I'm not seeing a huge indication of market weakness coming into the space for Aurora Cannabis. I'm not seeing a lot of strength coming in as well, because the volume for today is extremely light compared to what we've seen in the space. So more or less consolidation is what I'm expecting to occur in Aurora Cannabis, but we are still weaker than we are stronger in Aurora Cannabis. So continue to have that in your mental mind too. Okay, so our analysis for Aurora Cannabis will be for it to hold that consolidation in the near term, $6.50 all the way back down to $5. Slim probability it could go a lot lower than that, like back down $4.50 would be the consolidation. Now, in the midst of that consolidation, there's still more opportunities for Aurora Cannabis to continue to break down to the downside. Okay, I also want to mention that to you as well. So overall, it's looking like consolidation movement to the downside is what I'm expecting for Aurora Cannabis. Give us your thoughts. Tell us, do you think Aurora Cannabis is going to join all the other Canadian companies and have some type of agreement with another major big company to where it will give that big company the opportunity to go ahead and take a majority stake in Aurora Cannabis, which diminishes the rights of Aurora Cannabis? Okay, so let us know with the comment in the comment section of this video. We do appreciate you all watching. Make sure that you subscribe, that you like and share this content as well, because this is how easy it is to make sure that the information that we're reading is in fact going according to the price chart, because we're under the presumption that the price chart is the truth, and that is definitely where the information lies. Make sure you all maintain your profitability, and I will see you all later.